On November 30th, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said to the press after a NATO foreign ministers meeting that NATO is clear-eyed about some of the challenges that China poses. The U.S. remains concerned by the PRC's coercive policies, by its use of disinformation, by its rapid, opaque military buildup, including its cooperation with Russia. Do you have any comment on this?
美方有关的言论
The U.S.'s comments are not based on facts and reflect the entrenched Cold War mentality and ideological bias. We would like to stress that first, it is the U.S. that is the origin and expert of coercive diplomacy. From the threat of force to political isolation, from economic sanction to technological blockade, the U.S. would stop at nothing to achieve its end. The international community has suffered enormously. There are plenty of textbook cases of the U.S.'s coercive diplomacy. Second, the U.S. has a long record of propagating disinformation, from Operation Mockingbird, which bribed and manipulated news media for propaganda purposes in the Cold War era, to a vial with white powder and a staged video of the White Helmets cited as evidence to wage wars in Iraq and Syria earlier this century, and then to the lie of the century made up to smear China's Xinjiang policy. The world has seen how the U.S. concocted false evidence and spread disinformation. Third, it is the U.S. that resorts to wanton use of force to stir up trouble across the world. U.S. military expenditure ranks first in the world and is larger than the next 9 countries combined. Throughout its nearly 250 years of history, the U.S. was not at war for only 16 years. It runs more than 800 overseas military bases. Its military operations in countries like Iraq, Afghanistan, and Libya have led to innumerable humanitarian tragedies. U.S. military aircraft and warships constantly flex muscles around the globe. It is all too clear who has been undermining international and regional security and stability. China is committed to an independent foreign policy of peace. We never engage in coercion or disinformation. The U.S. needs to stop smearing and attacking China. A sound and stable China-U.S. relationship requires efforts from both sides. We hope the U.S. will work with us in the same direction to deliver on the important common understandings reached by our heads of state and establish the right way for our 2 major countries to get along.